Welcome to WagerTalk TV. I am Kelly Stewart, joined by Adam Trigger and Dave Koken of WagerTalk.com. All right, a game that's a little near and dear to my heart. I don't know how I feel about this line move. K-State opened as a 9-point favorite, 8 in some spots, down to 7.5. Dave Koken, our good friend Mid-Major Matt, texted me, asked me about this game, and I'll leave the expletives out of this, but I said this is the type of game that K-State could lose, and that is because unfortunately, they're not a powerhouse enough offense to really blow anybody out anymore, and that is a concern for me. Missouri looked okay last week in the first half versus La Tech and eventually pulled away. K-State didn't get to watch the game, unfortunately, because it wasn't on TV, and I caught all of these great highlights. I called my aunt, and I said, man, K-State looked good, and she goes, oh, you didn't see them defensively. I said, South Dakota didn't score any points. What am I missing here? And she said, they gave up a lot of dink and dunk passes. And she didn't have a lot of really positive things to say. Adrian Martinez, transfer from Nebraska, is now there. What say you, Dave? Help me make sense of this game that I am taking my good friend Megan making money to. And I hope that K-State does not lose and embarrass me.
I don't think they'll lose, but I don't know that they're going to cover. I think this is going to be a really competitive football game. A few things I like on the Missouri side. Just some of the pure numbers coming out of last week's game, they were solid. But I don't know if they're real or not. I'm not putting a lot into their opponent last week. And I'm just not sure Missouri's going to be anything more than a kind of a workmanlike offense that maybe bogs down in the red zone. That could be an issue for them. Kansas State, look, I'm just not an Adrian Martinez fan. Maybe it'll become better for him now that he's out of Nebraska, but he's going to have to prove it to me. This is a guy who came in to college football with a ton of hype, looked good early, and has kind of gotten progressively worse. He'll do a lot of good things, but he'll also make a lot of key mistakes, and that would worry me here. The model guys, the modelers, I think are going to favor Kansas State in this game, but the respected money, if you want to put some faith in that, at least in the early part of the week, has come in on Missouri. I would tend to lean to the Tigers plus the points in this game, although it's not a game I'm going to wager on.
Thanks, Dave. Give me a little solace there that maybe I won't leave Manhattan empty-handed. Adam, this is something nice I'm going to say about my alma mater. They are special teams youth. K-State leads the country over the last decade with not only punt returns, but other really great plays on special teams. I think that that's K-State's key to cover. If they can get a kick return or a punt return for a touchdown, maybe a blocked punt for, at least a significant amount of yards, that could be the difference maker here. Your thoughts on Mizzou at Kansas State?
Well, yeah, Kel, it certainly would probably be their path to cover, but it's also tough to count on that. And, it kind of goes back to something you and Dave said. First of all, Adrian Martinez is obviously in a new setting in Manhattan, Kansas, but we really didn't learn anything about him last week because all he did was hand the ball off, and Kansas State really just played, from what I could tell, because as you said, Kel, it was hard to find that game, and I really I couldn't watch a ton of it, but from every, going through the numbers and whatnot, it looks like Kansas State didn't do much in terms of, running their offense, whatnot. It was a lot of Vaughn, and they were able to just kind of, out-muscle an FCS team. So I don't know that we really learned anything from K-State last week. Missouri actually was better than I expected. I thought they handled Louisiana Tech more handily than I thought they might have. It was like 11 rushing yards they gave up. So there's some good things to take away there from Missouri. Kel, Missouri has lost their last 13 times as an underdog straight up. So will they break that streak here? I don't think so. I agree with Dave that, as we found out on the Hustle last night, there's definitely some respected players taking Missouri. It's come down a little bit. If I had to bet this game, I'd probably take the points and hope I don't run into that big special teams play. But there's I just don't know enough about K-State. We haven't seen enough with Martinez under center. I certainly have not seen enough where I'd be comfortable laying over a touchdown. So for that reason, I think I'd roll with the Tigers and just expect, like Dave said, a pretty competitive game.
Awesome stuff, guys. I know we didn't have a whole lot in this video as far as plays goes, but I will be at the game. Come find me. I think I'm going to be in section 2. I need to double check that, but I'll make sure to tweet it out. Beers on me, of course, as always. And if you guys are in Kansas City and not going to make it to the game, I will be at Hollywood Casino Saturday night and Sunday night at the Barstool Sportsbook. Also, shout out to all of you guys that subscribe and comment on all these videos. We just hit 100,000 YouTube followers this weekend, so congratulations to Johnny Detroit and his team. This is a very big accomplishment and very proud of everybody that works at WagerTalk.